I meant to pull the phone out, not this camera. All right, we'll do this too. Let me get this camera open here on the phone. $4:30 Wednesday morning. What's up, guys? Are you busy? You ever have one of those crazy busy weeks? Does it do you pull it off, or do you dread it, or does it excite you, right? I have one of those weeks right now. I'm super excited. We're going to take this excavator. They just dropped it up, brand new excavator. Still got the paint on it. We're going to put swales on the property, self-watering food forest, right? Provides some shade, filtered sunlight, producing food, producing nuts, producing nitrogen fixers, stuff like that, right? So the plants kind of feed themselves. They have a symbiotic relationship. We got some experts coming in to do that, right? Billy Bond, William Bond, Nicole will be here, a bunch of people. Like you see us on videos together all the time. Have you ever thought I want to meet those people? This is your chance this weekend. This is not a giant festival, right? There's not going to be 1,000 people here. This is a small, much more personal, relationship developing event. You're going to see this happen from start to finish. You're going to see the results of it, and you're going to see what it really takes. We're also going to show you how to do it with shovels. If you're thinking, I don't want to do that, that's okay. There will be, for every one person that says I can't, or I won't, or I don't want to, there'll be two that will step up and do it. You're going to see how to do it without the tractor. You're going to see how to do it with the tractor. You're going to see how to put it in, where to put it in, where maybe not to. Maybe it's not for you. If you're thinking, that's not my thing, I don't need that at all, you want to meet these guys, this is the time where you're going to have several days where you can sit and actually talk to these folks, right? You want to come and see this property. Everybody's like, I want to hang out. No, what they mean is I want to hang out for motherfucking free. You can't come here and hang out. I don't ever hang out. You want to hang out with me? Hanging out is while we're doing this and after that day, right? When the day is over and it's dark and everybody's inside, we will hang out. There is not a time when I hang out. While this is happening, the business, special operations equipment, is still running. All of my employees will be here. All of my people will be here. So we're running a normal day operation. We're short a couple of people. We're going to make that happen. And in addition to that, we're going to do this swales class. All of my people start getting here Wednesday. That's today. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We got camping here on Friday for people attending. A lot of people will be in hotels. This is your opportunity to come, where it's not going to cost you thousands of dollars to have them do a consult, and you're going to get to also hang out afterwards. We will have food together several times. We will have conversation. We will shoot videos. There's a bunch I haven't even looked at the list in, I don't know, weeks. Bunch of YouTube guys coming in to watch this, bunch of YouTube guys coming in to assist. This is a really, really good opportunity, and I don't make a dime from it, guys. I don't make any money. I'm not trying to sell this to you. This is happening with you or without you. But for all those people that always say, I wish I could, this is one of those golden opportunities where you actually can. You actually can do this. You can come to our Self-Reliance Festival October 1st and 2nd. It'll be amazing. But you're going to see people at a distance. You will have conversations with everybody. But if you want to have a conversation with me, you're going to have a conversation with me while I run around this property for 16 hours both those days and talk about whatever people want to talk about. You want to sit down and actually ask whatever you want to ask, or tell me whatever you want to tell me, or talk to these guys in a relationship, in a circle, really, with 4, 5, 6 of us, and get everybody's input. This is your opportunity. You won't have those opportunities a lot of times in life. This is one of those opportunities, and you can still come. You can show up the day of the event. I don't know what the cost will be, but they will let you in, and you can join. You should think about this weekend being here. And really, the super secret that you're not told, you should think about coming in a little bit early, like Friday. People show up, even like a day ahead of time. There might not be anything going on related to the topic, but the people will be here. And I won't be like, oh, you're in town, you can't come here. You can come here. We can have some conversations. We can talk. You got a camera? Bust it out. We'll have whatever conversation you want, and you can take that conversation home and do whatever you want with it. But with all that stuff going on, everything that has to happen, and I've got to take this excavator and dig out this duck pond up here. I've got to pull some fencing down to do that. I'm still 4:30 right now, Wednesday morning. My day, my routine doesn't change. I do all of the things that I do plus this. And this weekend, there won't be no sleeping in, there won't be any rest, there won't be any exploring out of town, there won't be going and picking up supplies. This weekend will be work for me and all my people involved, and especially Nicole. This, like when Nicole does one of these, she's really the one that does the work, the lifting and all of the problems and the solutions and the fixing, right? I get to show up and just do this, right? I do what I do. But Nicole, I don't think she gets credit enough, and she's the one that does all of that. Like, you want to see work done? Watch Nicole, wherever Nicole is, right? When she's at one of these events, she does all the stuff other people don't want to do. And thank you for that, Nicole. Thank you. Guys, come out. We'd love to meet you. Love to hang out with you. This is your chance. If you've ever watched any of my live videos, if you've ever heard me talk, guys are constantly like, I want to come and hang out. There ain't no hanging out. There's no hanging out. If you have time in your life to hang out, you can't keep up with me. This is your opportunity right here. And again, there's no money to be made off of this thing here. This is an opportunity for you to come and see this, learn, and meet these people. These are the relationships. This is happening here on my property simply because Billy and William came out and I wanted to meet them. I actually kind of lied to them and tricked them into coming over the night they got into town because I wanted to talk to them and meet them, right? We had a pig coming. I'm like, hey, I really need you to come look at this, see if you think this is good and secure. This location's good for you to do this butcher class, right? This all happened because of that opportunity, right? They were in town and I wasn't going to take no for an answer. Hey, I really need you to come see this thing, right? How many times do we say we wish we were able to do something or we wish we had something, and instead of executing when the opportunity happens, we're like, I think I'll stay in bed longer. That episode of the TV show's out. You guys don't think big enough. That's just it. You don't. And I'm learning, I don't think big enough, right? When I tell you something and you take it personally, what you need to realize is I hold myself to that times 10, right? I think I'm fat. I think that, whoa, is it still on? Are we still recording? We are, right? I think I'm fat. I won't tell you that. If you ask me, I might tell you something. But I won't ever be like, hey, fatty. The point is, I hold myself accountable to the shit that I say, that I don't even say directly to you if you're listening. It's not, I'm not even speaking to you directly. But if you take it personally, that's because that shoe fits. That's because that and there's always some dude that watches this shit and he won't comment on this stuff. He'll send me an email through a fake email account. Imagine the time to set up fake emails. And he'll tell me how fat I am. I'm like, you're right, motherfucker. I just told you that. So this weekend, love to see you. Love to meet you. We'll hang out. Unless you stink and you're a weirdo, then we'll hang out at, 5 foot spacing. Come on out, guys. Meet these people. It's always a trip. Dudes email me and they're like, is Nicole single? Is Nicole, well, I don't know. Did you ask Nicole? Did you ask her? This is an opportunity of how do I get to meet Nicole? You should probably go someplace public where Nicole is, because there's a lot of those. If you're not willing to travel to meet Nicole and you've got some secret crush on Nicole, that's probably how your whole fucking life is. Execute, motherfucker. All right, that video went a little longer. This grass out here bugs me to death. Right here, right? And I start pulling it, and I normally shake it off because I want the gravel, right? I want to keep it. But what's that gravel really cost? Pennies. And when it rains, it'll fill the little hole in. The roots on this aren't deep, but they're big, right? They pull out a huge chunk of gravel. And when you shake it, you get that concrete splatter all over my shoes. And these are not my poop shoes. So, do I stand out here for a few hours and pull this gravel? Or do I go and do something that makes me money for a few hours, right? What's it cost to get the dude to come pull these weeds? I don't know the answer to that. I've not ever found the dude. So, this is way worse this year. And I believe it's because we have so many guineas on the property. And they run through here in the morning. And they eat seeds all day, and then they poop the seeds out while they're walking around, and that's where all this grass is coming from. And this grass growing here grows wonderfully here, and we've never planted it here. And I believe that this is a lot of that grass seed that I bought, thousands of dollars worth of grass seed, and it's not growing where I put it because it washed away. We got 2 or 3 different kinds of grass here. So it's not hard, especially after it's rained. It comes up just like that. But if you don't get rid of it, as it dies, the rotted grass, it becomes soil. And this right here, you can see there's a lot of dirt right here, even though we had this all covered in rock, because the water runs right here. So you ever watch those, like I Am Legend, right? And a couple years after the event, there's trees growing in the freeway. A good one is, what's the one in Japan? Fukushima? Look at all those highways and roads. They're already forests growing where all the roads were and stuff. And this is how that happens. Leaves blow onto the soil. Grass starts to grow in the leaves. The grass cycle lives and dies, right? Because it creates its own seed. That rots down, becomes more soil. Trees, seeds get blown in. If you look at abandoned buildings, there's trees growing on the rooftops and all through like 10, 15 levels of the building. As you walk down the stairwells and stuff, you can see the roots from those trees. Nature always has a way, right? Like in Jurassic Park, Goldblum said that. Nature always has a way, and it will do what she wants to do. So this is a kind of an example. Just literally a year, 2 years after an event, nature takes back over what man has made. And it's leaving these huge divots here. So do I stand out here and do this? Or do I go and do something that makes money that affects other people, right? I fight with that all the time. So what's the answer? Because this right here, it probably, Amanda could care less, doesn't benefit Amanda, doesn't benefit my employees that are going to be here in 3-4 hours. It's not putting my time in the gym. It's not putting my time into cardio. It's not putting my time into answering emails from customers from early this morning. And really where I am right now, it's not even what you really see when you open the door. What you see when you open the door is on the other side of the greenhouse. I guess at least there's not ants right here. Boy, that's a surprise when you rip one of these out and ants crawl all over you. I never cared too much about ants. You know, when I felt them, I just shook them off. But this year, for some reason, the ants bite a lot more. Maybe I taste sweeter. All right, I don't know how long that was. But there's quite a pile right there. So I always fight with, what's the guy cost to come pull weeds, right? If we pay some guy $10 an hour, a $10 an hour guy pulling weeds, when you turn around and you come back out a couple hours later, you're always surprised how little of an area is done. And we've had a dozen guys through probably. They talk a great talk. I'm your man, I'll get this done. You're gonna love my work. You're gonna give me more work. And then you're always surprised how little work's done. And then when you really, because I don't ever go out to like check on them. I'm just on my way somewhere else, right? But then you start noticing how little is done. And that's that level of person, right? But then you hire a $20 an hour guy, and usually he works really well. So you want to give him a job, like a real job, right? Something you perceive to be real work that can make money. So there's always that fight. Every now and then you find a $10 an hour guy though, and he surprises you, and very quickly he is a $15, $20 an hour guy. And when you find that dude and he has staying power and adds value, he becomes a $20 an hour guy, $30 an hour guy. And that guy, those guys are too expensive to have pull weeds. And is it that they're too expensive, or is it they're too valuable not to use somewhere else, right? So here I am at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, pulling my own weeds. Oh, the horrors. What's the solution? The real answer is, I don't know. The real answer is there's not another dude here at 4 in the morning pulling these weeds. I see guys posting all the time. I'm hard working, I just need a job. My husband needs a job. My man needs a job. And I usually just feel like we've tried so many of those guys. And when you're like, hey man, this ain't working out. You've been here 3 hours and I've done more in 10 minutes than you did in 3 hours. And then they're like angry, mad, want to go talk shit about you. I'm going to sue you. You're going to sue me for what, right? It's weird. And a lot of time, I know guys need chances, right? But we have tried so many. Like my policy is we would hire anybody. We'd at least try them out. And when you thought they were doing well, most of those guys weren't. And a lot of that's local, like local guys. They live with their parents, or they have, that dude's never going to show up Monday because he didn't show up any of the other Mondays. His car's always broken on Monday, or something always happened over the weekend. So typically we hire guys that show up from out of town because they have to be responsible, right? They don't have there's not a lot of other jobs in this town, and they don't have people here. So when they come to get a job, they usually have to make that job work. We had a kid here a couple months ago, and he showed up from California, and he didn't make it 2 days. He did a good job. Like, we all had a conversation. I don't think he was aware of it, but man, this guy's doing a really good job. We should pay him probably more than we start him at. And the next day, I'm like, hey, come talk to me. And he quit before I could tell him, you're doing a great. And we even told, like, this is the only dude that has told me this wasn't going to be for him. He wasn't going to make it, that I've tried. I'm like, dude, you can totally do this. You're doing a great job, and we will help you make this work. What do you need? And he lived with his parents. They owned a business. He had only worked within the business. And I feel like something had happened at home. It's usually like girlfriend, right? Girlfriend breaks up and I'll show her, I'll just leave and she'll miss me, like that kind of shit. And I don't know that that's what it was, but that's usually what it is. And he had borrowed a lot of money from his parents or somebody to come out here, get a hotel room, and make a go of this. And he didn't last a day. So it's a trip. Younger guy, or actually no, he wasn't. He was 36, I think he said, and younger than me. So you never know. He definitely had it easy, right? He had the option to borrow the money. He had the option to come here, and he had the option to fail. But I don't know. I mean, maybe this experience is what he needed to work out his problems, whatever they were at home. And usually when that happens, I'm more of a, man, fuck that guy. I hope his fucking shit burns up on the way home, right? He wastes my time. But this kid, I actually did. He was odd, but I actually liked that guy and wish him no ill whatsoever. I hope that whatever had him on the run, I hope he has settled and worked out whatever those problems were, right? Usually they come here and actually start a new life, and they're here for years. Got a dude who's been here, I don't even know how long he's been here. Usually I don't want to know your name for 30 days, 90 days, but this guy that's here is doing a wonderful job. And also, I like him. Usually I'll tell you it doesn't matter if I like him. It's more important that I don't not like you, right? It's more important if I don't like you than it is if I like you. But this guy, I like this guy. Does a good job. I believe he's a good person. And there's never been any bullshit, ever. Shows up to work, rain, shine, sick, doesn't matter, right? That's just who he is. His concern is not, hey, can I not come to work because I don't feel good? His concern is, are you going to be mad at me that I came to work when I don't feel good? And I have a couple of those guys, right? There's a few of those people within my business. That's the 10% do 80% of the work, right? If it was catastrophic and something happened and her house burnt down, she would still be here at work. So would some of my guys, right? They would still be here. And those people are rare. So how do you keep those people? And how do you create a higher level of work for those people, right? Because you want to pay them more, but the tasks they're doing really don't pay more. So what do? And you have to put them in a position of leadership. But who do they lead if they're on the bottom of the totem pole, right? And some of them you move up and you put other people under them. Others, like I literally had a conversation with one of my guys and I'm like, you are wasting your time doing this. You should do a podcast, like for real. So I definitely want you here and I will pay you more money, but you are going to have to kind of make your job here. You're going to have to figure out something of value here that you want to be a part of. And when it adds value and you can find another person or two to work under you on your team or to take your position, I will pay you more money. And it's there's not a big pool to pull from here in this town. I love living here, but I don't have local labor beating my door down like I did literally everywhere else I've been, right? It's not here. So I always toy with the question of maybe we have to pay them more to get better people, and we've done that in the past and we didn't get any better people. Andy Frisella, if you don't know who that is, you should definitely find out. I don't personally know him, but I personally know some people that are friends with him, right? So I'm one step removed from him right now. And I heard him in an interview, like, how do you get good people? And he said, you almost have to overpay them. You have to overpay them so that they can't afford to not work. And they have to realize that there is not a better, easier job, better work environment, better pay, literally anywhere for them. To keep them, you have to pay them more than they're actually worth. And I do struggle. I have, you know, conversations with people and employees. And you always have a person or two that's always missing, always late, always something, right? There's always something. You know, Monday morning, that person's not going to be here. You know that when they tell you they have some emergency, it's always going to be Thursday, Friday, so they have a 4, 5, 6 day weekend. And it's always the person that's late, can't get up in time, whatever, but they always know right when break is. They know when every chance to get up and not work is, right? It's always the same people. And the other employees will have conversations amongst themselves, right? And they feel like you as an employer are doing them a disservice by allowing that other person to stay here. But they also know that we can't do more business because we don't have more people. So the way I look at it is everything that person does while they're here is something we don't have to do, right? We have them do tasks, products that we need over and over that sell out all the time, lower cost items. So they're not as skilled. And even then, you give them the same product and you have a 30-40% chance that this product they've made hundreds of times, they will make this batch incorrectly. So you have to monitor them a little more. Otherwise, if you're not paying attention, they'll sew something backwards. It makes no sense. But and with that said, while they do make 60%, 40%, depending on the item in the day, less than what your other person could make, your other persons are busy making items that are more crucial or more requiring of attention to detail. So that employee, do you keep them or do you get rid of them because the other employees are frustrated? And as an employee, they don't see it as the guy who pays the bill sees it, right? My employees, my higher level employees, are super busy every minute they're here doing higher level shit, but the customer is ordering both products, right? So everything that person does is something that we don't have to do, and everything we don't have to do is something else that gets done this day, this week, this month that we don't have time to do. So do you keep that person? And how do you have that conversation with all the other employees, right? And what I would prefer to do is, I mean, you can have the conversation, hey, here's the deal. This is how much you make. And until you show up on time and are here, 40 hours a week, you're not ever getting a raise. And then all those other people that do show up and are here with the extra effort, you just give them raises. I've never given a raise when somebody's asked for it. I always give raises, and that's the same thing too. Those people typically that are late and things that are always happening with them, they always ask for a raise. The person, your higher level people that make more money, they never asked for a raise. They never said, hey, when's the raise? They've never said anything like that. I have people that have worked here for a couple years that make way more money than people who have worked here 3 times longer than them. I don't give like a thanks for being here. I give a performance raise when you perform. And then we have the conversation with some people too. Hey, you have really worked things and changed things around, and it is noticeable. I'm going to pay you more money for that. And I need you to know that if you revert back to how you did things and you do not maintain your time or make up your time you will go back. Instead of a raise, we will give you a lowering. Whoa, what was that? Cat, probably? Wrong side of the fence. And sometimes a person does change, right? Sometimes what they are doing becomes important to them. But then I feel like some of the employees, their husbands are like, you're not going to sit here while I work all day and stay home and do nothing. So I think we do have people that come through here that just literally their spouse or whoever requires them to work. Almost like you fall apart because you don't ever get up in the morning, you're going to go to work, right? And I think that's probably some of it. But I don't know, I'm just rambling. I don't know that there's anything of value here. If you own a business or you're thinking about starting a business, I'm sure that there is something here that will be of value to you. But I don't know, a lot more weeds got pulled. I am sweating my ass off. I'm literally soaking wet. So, time to get inside. Oh, that's what Kitty, that's what Magnus was yelling at. And I got mud on my clean shoes. Ooh, the store's not even open. And I got dirt all over me. We'll come over here and put my hand into this fish water. Holy shit, that literally feels like a jacuzzi in there. I'll bet that water's 90 degrees. You know when you get in a hot tub before you make it really hot, or you turn it on and it's starting to get warm? That's what those feel like. Okay, phone's in my pocket, GoPro's in my hand. There we go.